He says, what did you do? I said, let's go have a rally.
Steve Schmidt is a Republican strategist and an MSNBC political analyst. That appears to be the strategy of Bannon and his wing and the Alabama Republican Party. As someone who's worked your whole adult life in Republican politics, what's your reaction to that?
I don't have the words to express my shame. It's disgraceful. What we're talking about here, Chris, is a 14-year-old little girl. Roy Moore is a pedophile. He's a child molester. That's what's alleged here. This story is immaculately sourced. There are 30 corroborating sources that are contemporaneous to the accounts of the woman from the time and the years after. It's obviously true. The notion that this is some sort of conspiracy that's been built, designed by Satan, in the words of Roy Moore, over many years is pure nonsense talk. This whole notion of if the allegations are proven true, there'll be no trial here. There'll be no judge to render a verdict. This is not a court of law. These are credible allegations. The Republican National Committee should sever all fundraising relationships with this campaign. Every Republican member of the United States Senate should signal that should he be elected, that they'll refuse to caucus with Roy Moore. Every one of them should call on him to drop out of this race. They should repudiate it. The moral rot in the Republican Party, the rot, the stench, the cancer of Bannonism is a plague on this country. It is a sad, sad day. Ronald Reagan, Abraham Lincoln, Dwight Eisenhower, Teddy Roosevelt, they're rolling over in their graves tonight. Shame on Mitch McConnell. Shame on Paul Ryan for not speaking out, not doing the right thing here. Shame on them.
You know, there's these two camps. There's the Bannonite camp and the Alabama Republicans who are kind of rallying around more, the people around him and folks on Trump TV who've been saying, you know, it's fabricated, women make things up. And then there's the people like Mitt Romney and Barbara Comstock and John McCain, to their credit, saying this in and of itself is disqualifying. Then today you had there's this other category, which is the biggest category, the kind of, I'm not sure. Today you had Mike Lee first asking for his name to be pulled off the fundraising document, the picture of him with Roy Moore. First he wanted his picture removed. Then later after the interview, he rescinded his endorsement, as did Steve Daines of Montana rescinded their endorsement. Is that enough?
No, it's not enough. There needs to be a repudiation, not just a rescission of an endorsement. He should be called on to get out of the race. What he is accused of doing is molesting a little girl. We're talking about a 14-year-old little girl. This is disgraceful. It couldn't be more disgusting. This is predatory criminal behavior. It's child molestation. The conspiracy theories that have run rampant on extremist radio, on extremist political TV today. Certainly, it shouldn't be defined as conservative. It has no connection to the conservatism that I grew up with. It has no connection to any rectitude or probity that you would expect of some of our nation's highest-ranking leaders. It is a sad and appalling moment. And if I could just say, the courage of this woman to come forward knowing what was going to come at her, we should all reflect on that. And I do think that what you'll see in Alabama, and there's a lot of pessimism about Doug Jones's chances here. There's a ways to go in this race, and I think that certainly the Democratic Party should be all in on this race, all in for Doug Jones on this race. And you'd like to see Mitt Romney, John McCain, some of the others who have been so principled on this, they ought to endorse Doug Jones in this race.
That to me strikes me. That is going to be the choice. I mean, it's almost no way to get him off the ballot, even logistically. It's going to be Roy Moore on that ballot and Doug Jones, and maybe a write-in candidate. And if you really think Roy Moore is unfit, then I agree with you that Doug Jones is the option. Steve Schmidt, really, really great to have you tonight. Thank you.
You bet. My pleasure.
Barbara Boxer.